Hello, and welcome to the Stitch Circle Show Challenge 2026. It's already the first Thursday in March, so therefore it's time for a new challenge. I always film a little ahead, because I hate to be doing things in the last minute. So I would just take the time here to say also, oh my, how many lovely embroideries I have seen in the January challenge, in all colors, and it's like a rainbow looking in there, and you can't be nothing else but happy when you look at all these embroideries. So I hope you will keep on stitching, those of you who are following this challenge. So I'm the host for the challenge, and my name is Lisbeth. I'm a Danish abstract mixed media artist who likes to do many things, and I like to do collaborations and challenges, and I also very much like to teach. So if you like to support my work, or you are participating in any of my things, you perhaps want to support me. Therefore, I have made a Ko-fi account, and there's a link here below you can use if you want to, but in any way, don't feel obligated. There are a playlist for this year's challenge, and under the little word more, the description box under here, you can find all the links I'm talking about. The links to this year's challenge, a link to last year's challenge. There's a link to how to make such a book as I have done here, and again, that isn't a must to have such a book. If you want to make a wall hanging, or whatever you want to do with your pieces, that is totally up to you. But that you have the option if you want to make a book to see how I have done it. That was the most impractical things I think I want to say right now. So why don't we just get started? So I will put my book here away. This was February, and let us see what I have come up with of crazy ideas here for March. Here in March I have been thinking about what we could do, and I have come up with a thing I think could be very nice to stitch, and that requires these following instructions or rules. You have to find a piece of fabric that is 25 by 25 centimeters, the same size as your substrate fabric, and in no pattern on it, a solid color of whatever kind you want. And that piece we're going to invisible base down, and then we have our base ready. And then I want you to trace our normal circle about this one here, about these. Mine is 22 centimeters, but perhaps yours is only 20 or about 8 inch. And trace it so we are ready for what we're going to do. But before we can do anything to this here, I want you to take your circle and a piece of paper and trace it on the paper, and then divide the circle up in 6 parts with no straight lines. All lines have to be curved. And how you divide it up, it's totally up to you. You can perhaps practice like I have done here a little. I don't know if mine will end up like this, but this is my circle here. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas. And there isn't a straight line anywhere. Yours can look totally different than mine. It's totally up to you, but you have to have 6 areas that are inside the circle. If you want to make a small and a minor, or whatever you decide. And to trace that into your circle, perhaps the easiest thing is to cut these out and lie them in here and and draw the thin line with something that you can erase, or perhaps you want to stitch over that line. We will see, but I think perhaps that is the easiest way to do it, to cut one thing out of it of a time and place it and trace around it. But I think I will practice a little more before I decide how my 6 areas are going to look. And when you have those 6 areas, you have to choose 6 different color threads. And I won't interfere in this color or in your thread color. That is totally up to you, what colors you want to use. But in each area, I want you to use a different stitch. And these stitches are going to be, I have drawn them here. Running stitches, straight stitches, seed stitches, cross stitches, star stitches, and square stitches. That is 6 different kind of stitches. And I know you probably have red ears and air out of your nose because I'm talking so much. But all this I will write here also in the description box or under the little word mo here, so you can read it quietly. And also in the Facebook group there will be a post in the album for March where all this is written so you can read it. There will also be a PDF where you can read it, and you find that PDF under files also in the Facebook group. And there's a link to the Facebook group also here under the little word more. So don't get, ooh, take it easy, breathe in and out, and I'm sure you can find out what I mean by all this. So when you have traced your 6 areas and you have your 6 different yarns or threads you want to use, that is up to you to decide where you want to place the 6 different stitches and which color you want to use. That is up to you. You have a big part in this, so you also have to decide something. My copy paper isn't big enough, so I have just put some tape on here. So I will just trace my, I'll put it this way here, because then you can better see what I'm doing. And I have tape, and I think I would go over here. Yeah, I'm in frame, I think. And I will just trace it here. So I can decide now how I will make my different 6 areas. And yeah, it don't has to be, they don't have to be in the same size, these areas. I think I will turn it a little here. And if I don't like it, I can always take a red pen or something else. And make, that was 1, 2, 3. So then we have to divide this here up in, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I'll need this area in 3 parts. Yeah, what do a wise woman do? Yeah. Yeah, I think that is quite nice. But if I don't like it, no, I don't have a red pen here, but I could, for instance, take a black pen and do another version of it if I wasn't satisfied with this one here. But I will cut the circle out and take the first piece out. But before I do that, I will invisible baste my fabric down. I have just placed my linen over my background fabric, and then I will show you. And I know I haven't been ironing it, but I don't think it matters much because I will be holding it in my hand and stitching a lot, so I don't think that matters very much. So let us see here. There, and of course you could put pins in if you want to, but I don't think I need that. But here we go. And pardon for those of you who have seen this many times, but there always are new ones here. And the way you do it is you come up in your fabric, go a couple of threads back, and come up a centimeter in front or ahead of you. Here, and my weaving is kind of a loose weaving, so I have to be sure there are a couple of threads, because else I will just have done nothing. And that is all I do. The tiniest back stitch and a long stitch on the back, but I can show you in a little. And I of course have taken a thread so you can't see it here on the very small dots it make this stitch here. Yeah, you can't hardly see it here on the back, but here I will do this all the way around, and when I'm done with that we can do the next thing. So done with the invisible basting, and it looks like this on the back. If you have chosen a very thick fabric as your front fabric, you perhaps don't need to have a piece under, but I like to have a more sturdier piece to sew into, and depending on what you think you will use your pieces for, you can decide if you want that or not. But now I'm ready for tracing my circle. So I will place it the best I can. I know my edges are totally frayed, but I won't do anything to make it look more nice now. I will wait, as the last thing I do is perhaps to cut them off or nurse them or give them a manicure so it will look nice. But since I'm having it so much through my hands, there's no, it will be a waste of time to do it now. But here I think it is okay here. So I could also have taken the plate from my kitchen as I have been using for this, but tin plate here. Yeah, I think I can see it. And I think before I cut these pieces out and trace them, I will, yeah, what could we do here in this circumference here? We have to choose a stitch. By the way, I have made this one here for you, so you can take a screen dump if you want to. I will just hold it here for a couple of seconds. Yeah, I think I will just do running stitches, and yeah, we can do running stitches and then we can whip them. So that is what I will do. So now I have to decide which color I will use for that. So I will find a thread and a needle and start on that. These are the colors I have chosen for my 6 different areas. And I think I will go with the dark one, so I can see where the line is quite clear. And I also think I would do it here in the lines, 2 running stitches there, so it is perhaps more visible that it is 6 areas. And I will just say pardon for my nails, but last night I was doing some painting with inks and watercolors and other things, and I think I have to work this off, but yeah, so it must be. So away with that, and I am ready here, and I will make a knot on my thread there. Away with all the things that I can hang into here. So I will just pull you in again, and sorry, I don't hope you get dizzy. There. But you probably all know how to do the running stitch. It is the simplest stitch you can make at all. So you just come up and take a little bite of your fabric. You decide how big or small you want them. And if you want to do more than one, here I'm what is called scoop stitching, because I'm doing it in one work way. And I think running stitches is the most common to do scoop stitching, but if you stab stitch, you go down, pull your thread all the way through, and then you come up again. And I very often use that kind of stitching, and that's because I'm stitch a lot in paper, and some stitches are, I think it is easier to see what you're doing if you're stab stitch, but that is, yeah, I think it is a preference and what kind of stitcher you are and what things you're used to do. I'm not yeah, I don't think in the traditional way a stitcher, but I like to stitch, but the things I do are perhaps a little, yeah, I don't know what we can say, up to date, but that is also one of the things I learned from my friend Jytte Harborsgaard, who was the mentor of this, or the inventor of this Dogma embroidery thing, that to try to bring the embroidery up to date by using the old ways, but do something different with it. Yeah, that was just a little of my thoughts, but I will do this all the way around and be back. When you're nearly all the way around, eyeball it so you can make your stitches quite even. So here I am now. It was a little longer, but okay, it's fine. So for the whipped running stitches, I just come up here in the middle of a thread, and then I take the eye of my needle, and then I go around it like that, into the next, and around it to the next, around to the next, not around, I go under, but always do it from the same side every time, not suddenly go this way. I have started to do it this way here, and doesn't that look nice? And the smaller your stitches are, you more fat this line will be. Mine are quite big, so but I think they lie nice. So I will just continue doing that all the way around. You can decide if you want to do it, or you could leave it as it is here, or you could make double running stitches with the same color. Yeah, that is, you decide that, how clear you want your circumference line to be. So here we go. Let us cut off the first. There, and yeah, I should perhaps have thought about, do I want it this way, that way, or whatever, but I don't think it matters very much. So I will just put it there, and then I will trace the line. It is very flimsy paper to draw a line up at, but there, I think yeah, I can see it clearly. Again, I will just do running stitches there. I know if I draw all my lines now, they will disappear a little, so I think I will sew one at a time. So I will cut the next piece off, and the next piece off, and the next piece off, and suddenly I have all my traced lines. So I will just do exactly the same as I have done in the circumference. So you don't need to see me do all that, but I can show you when I'm done with this one. So this line is done, and now I started this one, and that is what I will do with the rest of it. You can see, just like that. That isn't very difficult. I think you can do it. So done with all the stitching, and it looks very nice. I really liked when you start stitching and the fabric goes like, yeah. Oh. But the way I think I will figure out how to place my stitches and my colors is by putting them on here again, because then I can write on them what I decide. So since there's so much brown here in all the other stitching, I think I will go with the brown for the smallest piece, and then it is just start playing and see what you like and what you don't like. Something like this could work. And if you decide that is how you like it, write the names on your pieces here. I don't think it matters so much, so perhaps I will just play it by ear when I start stitching, but I know I want the brown one up there. So let me remove them. The next thing I will just try to figure out is what kind of stitching do I want where, and here is my pencil. And I had these six ones here, as I showed you earlier, and I think I will go with the straight stitches on this one, and then one of these long ones I will go for running stitches. and I don't think it matters so much which one. And let me see. You can always change your mind anytime you want. Well, or what am I missing? I'm missing the star stitch and the cross. So let us just do crosses here. And since, yeah, and the star there. No, I think I will have stars there and seed stitches there. That gives the most variation. So that is one way you can do it. So I think I will just start doing the running stitches, and then I think I will stop for today because I have other things to do, and this isn't about hurry and do it so quick you can, so you get finished as quick as you can. I would really like to see a lot of stitching and not just 5-star stitches in this big area. I really hope you will close up and sew a lot so you fill the whole space out. That is my meaning with this. The way I will do my running stitches is following the curve. And as I talked about earlier, there isn't a straight line here in these 6 areas, and that is what I like. But I will just start here with my thread. And it's a quite long thread I have taken, perhaps a little too long. So I will just, yeah, it is just going up and down. And I'm a little, yeah, excited as I don't know. I'm a little, yeah, perhaps excited, anxious if I am able to see this color enough here on my fabric. But I think I am. If not, I can always pick another color. I have several others, but I think it's okay, especially when there come more stitches in. So I will fill this area here with running stitches, and I don't think I would have more than under 1/2 centimeter, a couple of millimeters between my lines. So I will show it to you when I'm done with this area. So done with all the running stitches. And one other reason for me liking to stitch in 2 layers of fabric is this ribbly, slightly ribbly effect it gives you when you do a lot of stitching, and I really like that. I like to feel it and feel the texture of it, and oh, it's, yeah, that is one of the reasons why I like to do heavy stitching on my pieces, because they look so nice. If you just do a little, it won't give the same look as this. But many of the stitches I will use here, or all the stitches I will be using here. What is that little something there? Let me get rid of it. I have been using in last year's Stitch Circle Show challenge, where it was a weekly challenge. And there you can find a lot of the stitches that I have used in other ways, but look at that playlist if you're interested in Dogma rule stitching. There you can find a lot of inspiration. I have closed the group. Although it will be closed here on the 3rd of April, but I don't take new members in, but all the old members can close up the projects, and then I will put the group on pause. But you can always go in and look if you remember at all the inspiration that's lying there, but else you can find all the videos in the playlist also, and I can put a link here below for it also. But I have decided I will do that area there, and I will do cross stitches or plus stitches, and I have chosen this color here for now. So now you get a little swing again here. Perhaps that was too much. I don't want to get blurry either there. So the way I do it, I just make a straight stitch and then I make another straight stitch across it. And they can be wonky and they can be uneven, and I don't mind. And I will put them quite close again. So I will fill up the most of the fabric. Not so big either. But I will stop for now, and then I have something to stitch on tonight when I'm sitting looking telly, or what else I am doing tonight. I don't know what's in the telly tonight, but perhaps, oh, if there's sport, I can do a lot of stitching. I don't look at sports in the telly, but if there's a good movie, I will perhaps look at that. But I also very much like to hear podcast when I'm sewing. So that really is a good relaxation and a nice thing to do. Enjoy your stitching and hear a good podcast. And there you can see. So this is what I will be doing in this area. And now I will stop this video for today, and see you tomorrow. But for you it will go like boop. And there I am again. So here we go again. This one you have seen, this one I have finished, and all these very, very small cross stitches. And I have started these two areas up because then I have something to sew on tonight when I'm sitting on my bum looking at the telly. And if we start with this one here, I will pull you in a little closer. There. This is what I call square stitches, single square stitches. And the only thing I do is make two parallel lines. Yeah, it is like small boxes. And some of mine are quite wonky. They can even end up like a domino or harlequin, I think, form or shape, but I don't mind that. And I have a little space between the lines, so that is all I'm doing. Not difficult, but some perhaps will find it a little, not difficult, but not so easy to place them totally random. But I think mine is going okay here. So don't make them bigger than this. So a little under a centimeter, a half, between yeah, a half centimeter or 7 millimeters or so. But of course, you decide that. So that, oh, I'm totally out of focus. So here I can see, yeah, I hope, there and there. And again, find a little area where you want to do it, a parallel line, and go down and make the other line, so you have two parallel lines, and then you close the box or the square, and it doesn't matter what order you do these stitches in. All that matters is that you think it looks okay. So that is all for the square stitch. Again, I will go down here, here. You can see there's, yeah, probably a long red hair. Other people have cat's hair and their dog's hair in everywhere. I have my long red hair everywhere, and I really wish they would be on my head instead of everywhere else. That is one of the things that's very annoying about being elder, that I have always had a very big and much hair, and I think I have half of the hair I had when I was in my 30s. And yeah, I'm really not happy about that, but there are other things that's much worse. So I think you got it now with my squares here. So the other area I have started up is the star stitch, and I will see if I will thread my needle and start that one, and I'll show you that one also. All the stitches that I have asked you to do here in these 6 areas are all stitches that are some straight stitches combined in different ways. There it's just a straight stitch and they run. There they are 4 straight stitches put together so they make a box or a square. There they make a cross, and there they make a star. So they all look very different, but in fact it is nothing else but a running stitch or a straight stitch. So here I first make the same as I did with the cross stitches. I make a cross, and then I go up in the middle and in the middle and go down here, and then you have a little star, so you can twinkle twinkle little star. And again, straight stitch, horizontal, a straight stitch vertical, and go in between there and there. And again here the placement is perhaps the most tricky part, so you don't hit one of the other stitches, and you place them so they look like somebody has just dumped them like this on your fabric. But that's the thing you get much better at. This totally random, this is when you have done a lot of sewing. So I think you got it. Whoops. And there is a knot. No, that was luckily not a knot. Not. There. And there. So that's it. These two different stitches, I can stitch them tonight, and then tomorrow I can make the last two areas. In this area it will be seat stitches, and in this area it would be straight stitches in columns, I think. And I know I have talked about making one of the areas this color, but I don't want to do that. I only think I want the line that's dividing things up and the circumference thread there. So I have found another orange color. So I have 6 different colors. So that was all for today. So it's tomorrow in a sec for you, but I have a stitching here for my evening. Here I am again. I did a lot of stitching last night. I got finished with the star stitches and the square stitches. So I started up the seat stitches, and I have left a little room so I can show you how I do them. And I also started up on what I call the straight stitches. Yeah, that's perhaps a definition question. I call them straight stitches, but some perhaps will call them satin stitches because they are made like satin stitches, but I don't put them so close so you can't see the fabric under. And I really like these kind of stitches, and as I think I said, I often use them when I have 2 pieces of fabric going over each other and put a line over them. In many of my fabric collages I use that. But I want them quite straight here, and I want them in this line here because the lines are going that way now, and this is going opposite these here. So I thought that would be nice. But I could also have chosen to put them this way. But you don't have to make rows like I have done. You can do what you will with this kind of stitching. But my needle is sitting here in this orange, light orange color here with the seat stitches, and I think I will put you in a little closer here. Yes, and the seat stitches isn't anything else but just a simple straight stitch put in totally random here, and I put them quite close. I really like the surface this whole piece has got now. It really does something nice to the fabric, and especially because I'm stitching into 2 layers. But here we go. So I just have come up here and go down a random place and come up another place. You can also stab stitch as this, so you go down and come up. That way perhaps is easier if you are new to this, then you can better see how to place the next stitches instead of the way I have been doing it. But I have been sewing this so many times, so I have it quite good look for where I want to put my stitches. It is very dark today, and I don't want to go in the the black, not the dark brown line here, so I will try to avoid to hit that. But you can see I just placed them totally random in all kinds of directions. So that is all for this area here I will do. But I think you got it. And then if you have been with me last year in the Stitch Circle show last year, you have been doing all these stitches, so they won't be new to you. But I will make the last little area and show you this last stitch, and then we will say this video is done, and then I can take care of my edges and glue it in my book, and I will show you that also. So done with the last little area here, and I think it looks quite nice. And for the last area here with the straight stitches or satin stitches, and it's the only place here on this whole piece where I have drawn some lines, and I have drawn them because I want them to be quite even, and looking at them they aren't totally even, but if I had done it by myself or played by ear, they would have been more wonky, but I'd like them to be quite straight. So that is why I have drawn these help lines here. And the stitch here, by the way, is exactly the same stitch we used in January's embroidery. All the strips were sewn over with this stitch here. So those of you who have been doing the January, you know exactly what it is we are going to do. I just come up, then I go down there and come up at the same side again. You could, of course, also, instead of scoop stitching like I'm doing here, step stitch, and that means you're going down and then you come up in the same side. But I think it takes a lot longer to do that with that stitch here, so I don't step stitch here, but that is a preference. The only thing you can say here with this, if you scoop stitch, you have thread on the back side here also, and take care of not pulling too much in your thread so your piece is crumbling up. It has to lie still flat. But if you're using the stab stitching, you will only get small dots here on the back, and that way you of course will save thread. You won't use so much thread as you will if you are doing it like I'm doing it here. But yeah, you can do both. I don't interfere with that. But that is all I'm doing here, hitting the lines and making them pretty close. Not totally close, but pretty close. There. That is all I will do for the rest of the line here. Then I will come back and show it when I'm done. So done and dusted, and I am quite satisfied. So I will just remove some of these long fraying things. I don't mind it is fraying a little, but so I will just cut the different things off, and I will do this all the way around. You could of course take your rotary cutter and cut it totally clean again, but remember to be inside the basting. So clean here. I think that is enough. Then I will find my big book and my glue, and then I can show you what kind of glue I use and how I glue it in my book. So here it is, my big book, and this was January and February, and here we are with March, and I think I can sit down now. So, and I know I want it in this direction. So I have my glue here. I have done it in the end of February, I think, and it has been in this plastic bag in a little plastic container, and that is wallpaper paste. And perhaps you think I'm a little crazy using wallpaper paste to glue fabric down, but yeah, I can smell it and it smells quite fine. That's the way you can find out if you can't use it anymore. It's if it starts to mold or smell ugly. This smells of absolutely nothing. So one great thing about using wallpaper paste on fabric and glue it onto something is that even though it is sitting there quite nice, you can always take it off without damaging neither your fabric or your paper, or if it's two pieces of fabric you're gluing together. So I really like this way of gluing my things in. So again, here I will just eyeball it like this and say that is fine. Oh, no, sorry, now I'm scooping it around there. So I just put my hand in there, take a brush and put, I don't soak it, I put yeah, how can I say, not too much, because then it will seep up through the layers, and not so little so it is totally dry. Yeah, it is better to put a little too little on, if you can say so. You can always put more under, and then I will just flip it down and do that, and then I will go here and do exactly the same. And I don't mind, I'm not going totally out to the the edges here, because it doesn't matter. They like this. The only thing I have taken care of is there isn't any long threads hanging out, so they will peek out. So there it is. That is all I do. It's quite easy way, and a quite cheap way also. Wallpaper paste doesn't cost very much here in Denmark, and it's probably the same where you live. It is a cheap material to buy. So I will just put a little pressure on it, under it, or over it, close it, and put a heavy thing on, and then it is good to go. So I will just put the lid on here again and let the air out. Where is there? Is the so, and put it in my plastic bag. And if you're living in a place where that's really hot, you could of course put it in your refrigerator, but it's not very hot here right now in Denmark, so if I can keep it much longer. Perhaps when it starts to get summer, I can put it in the refrigerator. So I will close it and find some heavy books and let it be there for a little time. So I hope you find this month's challenge exciting and you want to go ahead and start. It is up to you how you divide the area up. If you want your areas to have bigger difference in size, you can do that, but all lines have to be curved. And the 6 stitches I will put below here so you can remember what it is. That is all this challenge for March is about. I will take some close-ups here at the end of the video also. Again, I would like to say thank you to all of you, those of you who have been doing the challenge here in January. And it is so exciting to look at all the colors and all the fine embroideries you have made. So thank you for that. But else I want to say, if you have learned something here and you like my videos, perhaps got some tips and tricks and want to go for this yourself, please give my video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. I would appreciate that very much. Also, you can hit the little bell, then you know there coming a new video up. Give me a comment. I like to have contact with my community also. But else I would just say, please be creative and please take care of yourself, and not but least of all, please be nice to everybody. That was all for this March challenge. See you in April, and I don't know what it will be about yet, but I will figure that out. So goodbye for now.